I think that brands have their own answers why they don't necessarily trust the data. Perhaps it lives in multiple systems, and so they're seeing different answers, and they're not sure why the answers are different, and they can't get to the bottom of it. That's frustrating. So you end up abandoning the investigation process, and you just try a new tool and see if it gives you better answers. And how you define a better answer, I think, is ultimately really difficult. Perhaps the team that was there historically that set up all the data infrastructure and had some of the data modeling, they're not there anymore. I think another thing that I look at quite often is the brittleness of some of the existing data infrastructure that might have been put in place. So you may have started with a really solid foundation, had done some really good data modeling, but then increasingly you introduce extra filters or exceptions into the code, and no one really wants to look at them, but we're all sort of afraid of tearing them down. So it's like, we know we've done all of these things that maybe we shouldn't have done, but we think the data is right. So there's just, in the desire to go quickly, we take some shortcuts, and sometimes those shortcuts can erode trust. But there's not a single thing that I can point to say that's why brands don't trust the data. I think we can be overwhelmed by the amount of access to data that we have, and when the answers that we see are different, it's difficult to have that trust. And again, I'll bring it to AI. I think there is an opportunity for us to perhaps ask AI to summarize the differences or help me explain why this is different here and this is different there. And we can start to form our own hypothesis as to, yeah, okay, I understand these differences, and I can explain away some of these differences. But that's it's definitely a challenge that we've always had, I think, as an industry, and it isn't going to suddenly go away because we're interfacing with AI as opposed to interfacing with traditional business intelligence.